What's up, everyone? Today we're going to be talking about composition. I'm actually going to start with a story about me because I'm talking, so it might as well be about me. When I was in high school, I had this dream that all I would need to be is the best guitarist that I could possibly be, and soon enough, the best singer ever would come along and would write the best music that ever happened. And things would just work out for me. Now, that didn't happen. Quite obviously, considering I'm making YouTube videos. What I kind of came to realize is, I went to uni and I was like, okay, there's going to be people in uni, because I found no one in high school that, there was people, we shared similar tastes in music, but it wasn't the same. And when I got to uni, it was the same thing, except these people were way more competent. So all of a sudden I had all this competition and people were not investing in me, and I couldn't understand why. I got to a point and I was like, this sucks. I'm sitting here, I know that I can make great music. Not that I'd ever written a song at that point, but all these people around me, someone's got to see what I'm worth and want to invest in me, and someone of a similar level of talent. And after a while of thinking this and seeing the people that were around me and how groups were forming and these types of things, I started realizing that I need to do more to get the results that I want to get. There was many different kind of approaches that people had in uni, and some people just wanted to be a sessions musician. They didn't care about the composition. Some people were too scared to say that they wanted what they wanted out of music, so they were just kind of very shy and would play what was required to get them grades, but it was obvious that they were denying themselves even communicating about their dreams, which to me was weird. But I just kind of realized that there were people that were progressing and people that were not, and mindsets that would allow people to progress and mindsets that wouldn't. Should I come across this amazing singer that's going to, perfectly complement my music and we're, going to immediately hit stardom together, if I meet this person, I better be ready. And so I actually changed from performance into composition while I was in uni so that I could get better at this skill. Now, fast forward a few years, I still hadn't met anyone that I was interested in. Or that was interested in me, and I'd finished my uni degree and I was going around telling everyone that I was a composer, and then people would be like, show me your music, and I'd be like, no, because I'm not proud of any of it. I don't really care about it. And I kind of realized that this was super strange. Why would I be going around telling people that I'm a composer, telling people that this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, and not have the ability to actually do it? It's just such a weird disconnect. And it was this thing that made sense at the time, but until I kind of thought about it, I was like, this is just ridiculous. And eventually I got recommended a singer. He's a friend of a friend. He was a decent singer, decent for his style. I knew that it wasn't quite my style, but I'm like, nothing has worked for me so far, so I might as well just try playing with people and seeing what happens. Long story short, that did not work out. He had very, very different ideas. Our styles of communication did not work. And I got to a point where I was just like, bugger this. I'm not waiting on anyone else to carve out what my life is meant to be. I need to rely on me for that. I decided that I needed to take up singing, because how else am I going to get these melodies out than by actually singing them in? It's not going to happen, right? And your story may be different, but I feel like it's better to have the skill and not need it than to not have the skill but need it. So my friend, I went to high school with this guy. His name's Tate Sheridan. He's a very, very, very good pianist and an incredible songwriter. And go check out his music. He helped me a lot just in a simple mindset. I'm not going to share his story here because, one, I don't have his permission. Two, it's his story. And three, I'd rather get him on here and actually have a chat with you about that type of thing in the journey that he went on. Effectively, I got inspired by what he did, and he did a much more intense version of what I did. What happened with me is I heard about his story and I was like, well, that makes sense. Doing a really intense amount of songwriting and being accountable for it, that's going to force me, even if I make no good music, it's going to force me to have the toolkit, and I literally use that word, the toolkit, to be able to write music in any context. And so I set myself the challenge to write one song a day for 300 days. Now, these songs are all on YouTube. You can find my other YouTube handle, It's called 300 Songs, 300 Days with a comma in between. I do warn you though, these were pumped out one per day. A lot of it sucked because I had so much room to breathe. I had a short amount of time and I had a lot of work to do in that time. But that meant that I could do anything that I wanted, right? So I experimented with everything. And it took me about 150 days before I felt like I was in control of the outcome of the song, right? Now, I don't know if I'm in control of anything. It's just, I've got so much experience at this that I am allowed to kind of guide the music in, different ways to make it the sound that I want. And if it's not the sound that I want, then it's something that's either interesting enough that I'd listen to it, or it's a thought that I've never explored before, and I then am able to pick up more skills for my toolkit. So what all this means for you, and the reason why I'm sharing this story, is because if we have this perception that we need to be perfect, we're never ever going to do anything. Think about your journey as a musician. When you first picked up your instrument, whatever that happens to be, you were not good at it. I'm willing to bet thousands of dollars that you were terrible when you first started, right? And after years of dedicated practice, you were all of a sudden, hey, I'm not terrible anymore, right? This is the same thing with composing. People just think that it's different because it's a creative art, which makes no sense. Why would it be any different for something that's creative as opposed to something that's technical? I'm going to link to a video by Ira Glass called The Gap. He's a journalist, and he talks about the gap where your taste and your abilities are totally different. You need to practice and practice and practice and practice, and then all of a sudden, your tastes will be at your abilities. Now, I haven't actually shared any of my music on this channel, but my band did just release a song last week, and I've got links below for that, just so that you know that I'm not someone who doesn't know how to compose. The way that we wrote that, I wanted to challenge myself. One song that I'd written before, I wrote the lyrics the night before, and I fell asleep. I totally forgot about it. Woke up in the morning, wrote my song. I was then trying to fit lyrics to it. I was having a lot of trouble, admittedly, which is quite hilarious because it was very late in the challenge. It was within the last 10 songs. Couldn't fit any lyrics to it, and then I'm like, crap, I've got those lyrics that I wrote last night that I'm supposed to put to this. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm having a lot of trouble. Anyway, after, 20 minutes of massaging these lyrics in, I literally just deleted one line and it worked. It was one of the best songs I've ever written, right? So with this song, Seething, I contacted my brother who lives just down the street really, but I just said to him, hey, I want to write a song with you, but I want to make it an experiment. I'm going to write the song. You write the lyrics. When you're done with the lyrics, let me know. When I'm done with the song, I'll let you know. He writes the lyrics, I write the song. I had no idea what the lyrics were. He had no idea what the song was. And then, okay, go. We've got one day to fit these lyrics to this song in any way, shape or form, right? We did it. We went through the process. We looked at what was the strongest. We looked at what was the weakest. We got rid of what was weakest. We then realized that the lyrics don't suit what we need it to suit and the verses kind of suck. So we went through, and the chorus had something cool to it, and the chorus came out of straight away. It was really easy to make the chorus work, but we needed different lyrics. And so then we went through revision. My brother had an idea about, a nursery rhyme type of idea, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, we did very little of that composing in the same room. It was more just let's take two totally separate ideas that have no relation and mash them together and see what works. And it worked really well. We're both stoked with the song. That's the whole point of this video, is we can all write good riffs. We can all think of amazing melodies, and we can all think of these moments in music that are so profound that, we want to show it to every single person on the planet. But there's a very big disconnect between having these amazing ideas or creating one amazing riff and making an amazing song out of that, or conveying whatever message it is properly. And the only way that you're going to do that is by practicing. And so I'm a massive advocate of just setting yourself a time limit and writing a whole song in that time. You take out the variables, because the hardest part I find is getting the transitions. How do I go from verse to chorus? How do I go from chorus to bridge? How do I go from bridge to instrumental section? How do I change these ideas? And some of the hardest things that I've ever done, I have two ideas that don't even sound like the same song, and then you've got to transition them together. And in that transition, that then becomes the most interesting part, because I'm stealing ideas from both and connecting them together and making them this something that never existed, that you couldn't think about logically. It's only because I've had two totally disconnected ideas and connected them. So all in all with this video, my challenge to you is to write a song. Okay? It does not have to be good. In fact, I'd encourage you to make it bad. Right? Take that riff that you think is going to be the next Master of Puppets or something, and turn it into a song. And it doesn't matter if at the end of the song you go, I hate this, because there are a billion riffs out there that are as good as Master of Puppets. It's not about the riff, it's about the song around it. Get used to writing a full song and set yourself a time limit for it. Take away this fear of it being perfect. Make it anything. Just make it crap, make it whatever, and make it one complete song. Okay, so I hope you like this composition video. I know I didn't necessarily give you any practical steps on composition, but I find the biggest thing that people need to get around is actually just starting. So get started, get it done, you will learn, and if you aim to learn with every song, you will get better. You will get much, much better. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, ask any questions you've got. Subscribe if you haven't already. This video is definitely not about guitar. If you've got someone in your band or a friend that you know that's having trouble with composing, anything like that, there may be something in this video that actually helps them out. So please share it around. Until next week, have a good one. Bye.